Let's learn about our solar system. Our planetary system is known as our solar system. It is where the Earth is located. Our moon, sun, star, and neighboring planets are in our solar system. Our solar system is home to thousands of asteroids, meteoroids, and comets. Our Earth is the only planet that has water, in liquid state, and oxygen in our solar system, but there are other planets with different characteristics. Come on now, let's find them out. Structure and surface. Mercury is the smallest planet in our solar system. Mercury is a terrestrial planet. It is small and rocky. Mercury doesn't have an atmosphere. Time on Mercury. A day on Mercury lasts 59 Earth days. A year on Mercury lasts 88 Earth days. Mercury's neighbors. Mercury does not have any moons. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. Venus is Mercury's neighboring planet. Quick history. Mercury has been known since ancient times because it can be seen without advanced telescopes. Mercury has been visited by two spacecraft, Mariner 10 and Messenger. Temperature on Mercury. Because the planet is so close to the Sun, day temperatures can reach highs of 800 degrees Fahrenheit, 430 degrees Celsius. Without an atmosphere to retain that heat at night, temperatures can dip as low as -290 degrees Fahrenheit, -180 degrees Celsius. Planet type. A rocky planet is also known as a terrestrial planet. Along with Venus, Earth, and Mars, Mercury is one of the rocky planets. Compared to Earth, it is 2.6x smaller than Earth. Almost 18 Mercuries could fit inside Earth. Namesake. Mercury is appropriately named for the swiftest of the ancient Roman gods. Structure and surface. Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system. Venus is a terrestrial planet. It is small and rocky. Venus has a thick atmosphere. It traps heat and makes Venus very hot. Structure and surface. Venus has an active surface, including volcanoes. Venus spins in the opposite direction of Earth and most other planets. Time on Venus. A day on Venus lasts 243 Earth days. A year on Venus lasts 225 Earth days. Venus's neighbors. Venus does not have any moons. Venus is the second planet from the Sun. That means Mercury and Earth are Venus's neighboring planets. Quick history. Venus has been known since ancient times because it can be seen easily without a telescope. Venus has been visited by several spacecraft, Mariner 2, Mariner 5, Mariner 10, Pioneer Venus 1, Pioneer Venus 2, and an orbiter called Magellan. Planet type. A rocky planet is also known as a terrestrial planet. Along with Venus, Earth, and Mars, Venus is one of the rocky planets. Compared to Earth, Earth and Venus are almost the same sizes. Venus is often known as Earth's toxic twin. Namesake. Venus, the third brightest object after the Sun and Moon, was named after the Roman goddess of love and beauty. It's the only planet named after a female god. Structure and surface. Earth is a terrestrial planet. It is small and rocky. Earth's atmosphere is the right thickness to keep the planet warm so living things like us can be there. It's the only planet in our solar system we know of that supports life. It is mostly nitrogen and has plenty of oxygen for us to breathe. Time on Earth. A day on Earth lasts a little under 24 hours. 1 year on Earth lasts 365.25 days. That 0.25 extra means we need to add 1 day to our calendar every 4 years. We call it a leap day. In a leap year, Earth's neighbors. Earth has just one moon. It is the only planet to have just one moon. Earth has lots of spacecraft watching it. There is still a lot we can learn about our home planet. Earth is the third planet from the Sun in our solar system. That means Venus and Mars are Earth's neighboring planets. Quick history. We have known about our planet since ancient times, of course. But we didn't know our place in the solar system for long. When the Earth was created, it was also hot like Venus. Temperature on Earth. Surface temperatures on Earth can reach up to 59 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees Celsius. Planet type. Earth is also one of the terrestrial planets. Earth is the biggest terrestrial planet. Namesake. The name Earth is a Germanic word, which simply means the ground. Structure and surface. Mars is a terrestrial planet. It is small and rocky. Mars has a thin atmosphere. Mars has an active atmosphere, but the surface of the planet is not active. Its volcanoes are dead. Time on Mars. One day on Mars lasts 24.6 hours. It is just a little longer than a day on Earth. 1 year on Mars is 687 Earth days. It is almost twice as long as 1 year on Earth. Mars neighbors. Mars has 2 moons. Their names are Phobos and Deimos. Mars is the 4th planet from the Sun. That means Earth and Jupiter are Mars' neighboring planets. Quick history. Mars has been known since ancient times because it can be seen without advanced telescopes. Several missions have visited Mars. And Mars is the only planet NASA have sent rovers to. They drive around Mars, taking pictures and measurements. Temperature on Mars. The temperature on Mars can be as high as 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius, or as low as about minus 225 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 153 degrees Celsius. Planet type. Mars is one of the 4 terrestrial planets. Compared to Earth, Mars is about half the size of Earth by diameter. Namesake. Mars was named by the ancient Romans for their god of war because its reddish color was reminiscent of blood. Structure and surface. Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system. Jupiter is a gas giant. It is made mostly of hydrogen and helium. Jupiter has a very thick atmosphere. Jupiter has rings, but they're very hard to see. Time on Jupiter. 1 day on Jupiter goes by in just 10 hours. 1 year on Jupiter is the same as 11.8 Earth years. Jupiter's neighbors. Jupiter has 80 confirmed moons. Jupiter is the 5th planet from the Sun. That means Mars and Saturn are Jupiter's neighboring planets. Time on Jupiter. 1 day on Jupiter goes by in just 10 hours. 1 year on Jupiter is the same as 11.8 Earth years. Jupiter's neighbors. Jupiter has 80 confirmed moons. Jupiter is the 5th planet from the Sun. That means Mars and Saturn are Jupiter's neighboring planets. Temperature on Jupiter. Temperature on Jupiter are about minus 166 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 110 degrees Celsius. Planet type. Jupiter is one of the 4 giants. Jupiter is a gas giant. Compared to Earth, Jupiter is 11 times wider than Earth. The core of Jupiter is the size of 1 Earth. 1,300 piles of Earth can fit inside Jupiter. Namesake. Jupiter, being the biggest planet, gets its name from the king of the ancient Roman gods. Structure and surface. Saturn is a gas giant like Jupiter. It is made mostly of hydrogen and helium. Saturn has a thick atmosphere. Saturn has a lovely set of 7 main rings with spaces between them. Time on Saturn. 1 day on Saturn goes by in just 10.7 hours. 1 year on Saturn is the same as 29 Earth years. Saturn's neighbors. Saturn has 145 moons that we know of so far. Saturn is the 6th planet from the Sun. That means Jupiter and Uranus are Saturn's neighboring planets. Quick history. Saturn has been known since ancient times because it can be seen without advanced telescopes. 4 robotic spacecraft have visited Saturn, including Pioneer 11, Cassini, and Voyager 1 and 2. Temperature on Saturn. Temperature on Saturn are about minus 220 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 140 degrees Celsius. Planet type. Saturn is also a gas giant like Jupiter. Compared to Earth, Saturn is 9 times wider than Earth. More than 700 piles of Earth can fit inside Earth. Namesake. The planet is named for the Roman god of agriculture and wealth. Structure and surface. Uranus is surrounded by a set of 13 rings. Uranus is an ice giant, instead of a gas giant. It is mostly made of flowing icy materials above a solid core. Uranus has a thick atmosphere made of methane, hydrogen, and helium. Uranus is the only planet that spins on its side. Time on Uranus. 1 day on Uranus lasts a little over 17 hours and 14 minutes, to be exact. 1 year on Uranus is the same as 84 years on Earth. Uranus's neighbors. Uranus has 27 known moons. Uranus is the 7th planet from the Sun. That means Saturn and Neptune are Uranus's neighboring planets. Quick history. Uranus was discovered in 1781 by William Herschel in Great Britain. Uranus has only been visited by Voyager 2. Temperature on Uranus. Temperature on Uranus are about minus 320 degrees Fahrenheit, -195 degrees Celsius. Planet type. Uranus is an ice giant like Neptune. Namesake. Uranus was named after the Greek god of the sky. Structure and surface. Neptune is encircled by 6 rings. Neptune, like Uranus, is an ice giant. It's similar to a gas giant. It is made of a thick soup of water, ammonia, and methane flowing over a solid core about the size of Earth. Neptune has a thick, windy atmosphere. Time on Neptune. One day on Neptune goes by in 16 hours. Neptune has such a long journey around the Sun it takes 165 Earth years to go around once. Neptune's neighbors. Neptune has 14 moons. Neptune is the 8th and most distant planet from the Sun. That means Uranus is Neptune's only neighboring planet. Quick history. Neptune was discovered in 1846 by Urbain Le Verrier, John Couch Adams, and Johann Galle. Only Voyager 2 has visited Neptune. Temperature on Neptune. Temperature on Neptune are about -330 degrees Fahrenheit, -200 degrees Celsius. Planet type. Neptune is also an ice giant like Uranus. Compared to Earth, Neptune is about 4 times wider than Earth. 57 Earths could fit inside Neptune. Namesake. The planet is named after the Roman god of the sea. Dwarf planets are planets that don't follow the 3 rules to be considered as a planet. There are 5 dwarf planets. Dwarf planets are located in the Kuiper Belt, which is located after the orbit of Neptune. The 3 rules a planet should follow in order to be considered as a planet. The planet has to orbit a star. It must be big enough to have enough gravity to force it into a spherical shape. It must be big enough that its gravity cleared away any other objects of a similar size near its orbit around the Sun. The second and third rules are one of the rules most of the dwarf planets don't follow. Pluto is a dwarf planet that lies in the Kuiper Belt. It's an area full of icy bodies and other dwarf planets at the edge of our solar system. Because Pluto is the biggest known object in this region, some call it King of the Kuiper Belt. Dwarf Planet Ceres is the largest object in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, and it's the only dwarf planet located in the inner solar system. MAKE is located in the Kuiper Belt, a donut-shaped region of icy bodies beyond the orbit of Neptune. Slightly smaller than Pluto, MAKEMAKE is the second brightest object in the Kuiper Belt as seen from Earth, while Pluto is the brightest. It takes about 305 Earth years for this dwarf planet to make one trip around the Sun. Haumea is roughly the same size as Pluto. It is one of the fastest rotating large objects in our solar system. The fast spin distorts Haumea's shape, making this dwarf planet look like a football. Eris is one of the largest known dwarf planets in our solar system. It's about the same size as Pluto but is 3 times farther from the Sun. A year on Eris is equal to 557 Earth years. The Sun is a star. There are lots of stars in the universe, but the Sun is the closest one to Earth, and it's the only one in our solar system. It is the center of our solar system. The Sun is a hot ball of glowing gases. It keeps our planet warm enough for living things to grow. It gives us light so we can see. The planets orbit the Sun: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The dwarf planets Pluto, Ceres, MAKE, Haumea, and Eris also orbit the Sun.